So I'm so excited because this is an opportunity for me to do a live LinkedIn reading with the actual recipient. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Nancy Zaire, the sales whisperer, and I am talking with John Houle. John is a public relations he owns a public relations agency, marketing guru, and colleagues. So, John, welcome, and thank you for agreeing to this opportunity.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. It's nice to be here. I appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate you. And so here's what I do, John. Of course, I teach people how to do this, but I also can do it for you. And so I always start when I read a LinkedIn profile with the photo because pictures give, 1,000 words, right? There's so much we can learn from someone's photo. Now, John is dressed beautifully, right? Open shirt collar. He's got a conservative suit jacket, although it's got some pattern in it. There's a hanky there. He's got some facial hair. He's not smiling. That's the very first thing that I look for. Now he's pleasant looking. John, you're pleasant looking, but there
That's good
is
to
no
know.
but there is no smile. And here's what I interpret that to mean. You're smart. Are you a smart guy?
I guess so. I
Okay.
would say yes. I would
I
say I'm
think you're a
I'm
bit
smart.
nerdy, is what that smile is telling me, that you're a
Hmm.
bit nerdy. But then as I'm looking at the
How about
clothing,
introspective as a writer?
ooh, yes, I forgot to mention, he has an amazing book, which I have read. The title of the book is,
Actually, the new book that is coming out next week is The Siberian Candidate, and the book where this picture was taken. In fact, this image is my official book cover photo. Um, that book is The Kingmakers of Providence.
that's right, which I read and enjoyed thoroughly. As a former New Englander, I found it fascinating. And behind him, if you can't recognize, that is the skyline of Providence. So anyway, John's appearance is telling me that he's nerdy. And because he's also an author, that is very much in keeping with the number eight style. And of course, he has a beautiful banner, which was styled for him with his logo, and it looks great. And here's the key to understanding and reading somebody's profile. I'm going to give you the inside scoop, John. I'm scrolling down to the area called recommendations, and I'm looking specifically at the given. And I'll tell you why I look at the given ones rather than the ones received. The given ones are your words commending someone for values that you like. And so here's the one that was written a couple years ago. Marty's not only an expert. Expert is a word that number eight people value. They value expertise, they value smartness, they value intellect, agility, and consulting. So these are things that you definitely resonate with. And he applies his expertise towards helping improve efficiency. Being efficient is both a number eight characteristic, again, that smart intellectual person, as well as the number two who wants to get things done quickly. And so, without reading further, John, here's my understanding of your style. You're one smart dude, but you're also an actor and a doer. A lot of times people can be very smart, very intellectually gifted, but they don't take action. You, on the other hand, are an action taker. And not only is that true in terms of having written a book and now promoting it, and you've been on book tours and so forth, but you also have started an agency, a very effective agency. And so that is my conclusion. If I were looking to sell you as if you were a prospect for me, I'd want to make sure that you had a lot of information And at the same time, once you were satisfied intellectually, you'd be fast to act, and then I'd need to pin you down. How does that sound?
Well, I'm gonna disagree about the nerdy, but I'm sure that my daughter and some other people would agree. But I think you're spot on.
Okay. And by the way, in order for me to pin down John, it really took persistence. And he's laughing because he knows, because I've said John volunteered to have his profile read, and then I had to be on his case to get it done. And that is so typical of the number two, who is always active in doing stuff. They say yes quickly, which he did, and then the follow-up is really hard. So, John,
Well, and if I could comment on that, in fact, I think that some people might be reluctant if I didn't respond, they would just give up. Um, but it's because I'm busy and I respect the people that continuously follow. So I wouldn't be mad at anybody or annoyed by anyone that kept on me. I would be appreciative of it. So I think that's a lesson I wanted to impart with people.
thank you for saying that, because a lot of times the clients I work with are concerned about being pushy, aggressive,
No, I
or
don't think you can be
salesy.
too pushy, to be honest with you. I think you have to be. I
Okay.
think it's to get people's attention, and as you noted, I think you have to be.
Okay. And again, this is your style, John, as a number two, because that's your secondary style. You enjoy that. You want the deadlines, you want the commitment, you want somebody, like you say, to be on your tail about something. But I promise you, other styles, not so much.
Mhm.
So, John, I want to thank you so much for agreeing to do this in person. To your sales success, it's Nancy Zare and John Houle.